we all believe the same thing about the plant, and we think it can change culture.
The burning weed with its roots in hell. It is
Removing the stigma through education.
The message is out there. The flame is getting hotter.
And we're trying to turn that light on where we are in our community. What does this mean?
The Greenhouse Podcast.
Where are we, sir?
Great, right?
We're looking over the Newport Harbor in Newport Beach, California.
Beautiful fucking view.
We were blessed by God for this. This is great.
This is amazing. Here we are in the Greenhouse
You're in my
Podcast.
home, actually. This
This
is
is
one of my porches. I overlook in the harbor.
The home of
Welcome.
Peter Cannabis.
Dude, are you on this porch every night, like checking out the sea?
You know what? I do a lot of work from home, so I prefer to just sit out here during the day and crush calls and help people with the future. And this is where I like to think, you know.
Dude, this is a great place to crush some calls.
Yeah. This is a good thinking space. The other one, I do like the other thinking space as well. The other balcony facing the...
Imagine that. Peter
This
Cannabis.
place is so-
Peter fucking Cannabis with two patios
Two
overlooking
balconies.
the port of Newport.
I knew Peter Cannabis. He had
You know, when
balconies.
I moved out to California to pursue and get back in this industry, I moved into a tent on a roof in Marina Del Rey for
You
2
told me that.
months.
Marina
before
Del
I could
Rey is
afford
pretty
a
fucking nice,
room
though.
in that house, before I could afford my own apartment, before I could move my girlfriend out that I was committed to at the time. And, you know, humility is undervalued. You have to
Sure.
lose it to be able to gain
Right,
it.
right.
Yes.
I'm a true believer in that. So
Yes.
I, you know, am grateful to God to have the opportunity to find and follow my passion. It gives me the opportunity to see this view, and I appreciate every second of
Well, thank you for taking the time.
it. Oh, I'm so honored to be on your podcast. Thank you.
Likewise, 100%. So, we're sitting at a table of these shoes, right?
Yeah.
So, let's talk about
These
these for a
amazing
second.
shoes.
Fly Soul shoes.
Well, you know, let's talk about the industrial hemp revolution.
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's get
Start
deeper
there.
than
You know,
that. The
hey,
shoes are just,
great.
you know.
Shoes are just a start. I
Yeah.
chose shoes because most people are
Yeah.
born with 2 feet, and if you're not, you know, I'll make you a special shoe.
Yeah.
One shoe.
Yeah, well,
One shoe
whatever,
for the
whatever.
one.
I'll
Yeah,
make
yeah,
you a
yeah.
pad. You know, call me up.
So, these are the first hemp.
Hand woven hemp shoe in North America. So the ones you have in front of you are made out of like a canvas. But the one that I'm wearing, this is actually my very first prototype. You can see is a hand stitched.
Oh my gosh.
And the unique thing about the shoe is that every single pair is one of one. So the pattern will
Right.
not line up on a shoe the exact same
Twice,
way
right.
twice. And so I designed them like that.
He's been rocking these. You've been rocking these since Zurich.
Well, you know,
Maybe.
I mean,
I made
they
a-
got you here.
you know,
Why change?
yeah, it's it's kind of cool when you rake your own shoes. Why would you wear somebody else's?
Of course.
Right.
100%.
And there, you know, it's not just about the shoes. It's about this industrial hemp revolution that you are very much on the forefront of. Like that's
Well, you know,
I wanna hear
this got a start way back in the day, and it failed. Right? We had a huge marijuana legalization movement and hemp legalization movement that had its upstart once, and it failed for several different reasons. The reason that I believe it failed is because the culture didn't accept it as really a better replacement for many, many textile goods. Basically, everything besides that leather on your body could be that you're wearing right now could be made better, more durable, antimicrobial, antifungal, hypoallergenic, out of hemp, and waterproof. So,
And you think it's the culture that didn't accept it, or do you think it's the powers that be that stood to lose so much they didn't allow the infrastructure to really?
let me answer that directly.
Yeah.
Culture dictates everything. If what we will not accept, we have to stand up together and make a change as one.
Right.
The problem, and I see in the country right now especially, is that we are so bifurcated, we are so divisive from our political stance. Let's come together on a plan that, you know, hemp, industrialized hemp,
Right.
is the gift from God.
Amen.
It remediates the soil. It removes more CO2 than a tree. It produces better fiber, better paper. Our Constitution is written on it. So if you can't get behind that, Heck, that's anti-American.
Here, here.
Preach.
Here, here.
And I'm proud to be an
American,
American, where at least I know I'm free. Not free to grow hemp, though,
Yeah,
interestingly.
in all
Not in
places.
our state. You know, and we come from Texas. We hail from the great state of Texas, as you know. And we are still not able to grow our own hemp. And what we're really nervous about is that industrial hemp will push out the medical hemp, the CBD.
Well, this past 18 months, or past year, in 2019, I traveled to 68 cities and 19 countries, building a manifest of each individual industrial or hemp, CBD, THC, minor cannabinoid markets, and where the culture and regulations and everything was going to be. This is going to shock you and probably a lot of the people that are watching your podcast. But the future of cultivation of hemp for refined cannabinoid production will, in my opinion, cease to exist in the United States in the next 4 years. The economic advantages of labor rates that are achievable in countries like Colombia or Mexico, for two examples in the Western Hemisphere, simply will follow the commoditization that's taking place in many agricultural products such as fresh cut flowers or sugarcane. We don't grow it in this country because the difference between the longest day and shortest day in Colombia is 41 minutes. So the Northern Hemisphere simply can't compete with that many cycle ability.
Yeah.
Is that
Furthermore,
full crops of hemp a year outdoors? 3 maybe?
4 to 5.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
it grows relentlessly. And if you climate
It's a relentless plant.
It-
Yes,
I mean, it
thank
is,
God.
yeah.
Thank God.
and if
What a
you
great
climate
word.
control it, and the institutional type of capital that's been invested in these countries, because they already recognize that it's only going to go one way. You got a forecast for CBD isolate, an isolated molecule, to be trading at $100 a kilo in the future, just like sugar. I mean, you got to think about that. 3 years ago, we were selling it at $18.5, $12.5 the next year, $6,500 last year. I'm selling it for $1,500 right now. Wow. So
Just CBD
So-
or for
CBD
industrial?
isolate,
Yeah.
and so
Industrial's not online.
the
Well, no.
future of the industry in the United States is short-lived. When you turn on institutions like Mexico, which already have, agricultural producers with 20 straight kilometers of established greenhouse, they can just take, we'll carve out this mile and flip it over.
Amazing. I mean, I hear that, and I see that. But what say you about the smokable hemp? That's really that is a concern that the smokable hemp flower will be banned. Hence, kind of paving the way to ban any smokable flower of any sort in Texas. It's very strange, this
you heard
kind of
about
land
this?
that we're living in.
So, the reason that the United States has really lost this battle is because we are so bifurcated in our state laws that say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And Texas, unfortunately, is suffering from that exact consequence. When we launched the state system in Washington, they were pro. I mean, we literally set up the track and trace office in the WLCB. And so, unless Texas, they shouldn't ban that because there's a lot of medicinal purposes. And
Thank you.
actually, smokable hemp is probably the only sub-facet of the industry that will survive in the United States, because the importation of hemp flower for smoking purpose that'll be refined to that nature will not come from those importing. They're going to refine it into an isolate or a distillate or easily shipped container. So
Right. There's something to be said for, local flower, artisan flower.
Yes, and that will never
just
die.
as there are, the marijuana flower that we love so much. It's
because you
just-
put yourself into
yeah.
growing the plant.
Yes,
It really
yes.
is a reflection of how much you care
You
for
want to be
yourself.
one time
is,
removed
yes.
from what you smoke, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You want to have access to
Yeah.
know what it is.
I wouldn't
Yes,
smoke
right,
flower
right.
coming out of Mexico.
Right.
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 Like,
Right.
For
No.
sure.
No. But the isolate. Who fucking knows? Who cares?
This
It's
is
the isolate.
all.
It's
This
the
is all sort
molecule.
of future thinking, right? Like this is what will
Very-
come.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is stopping that from becoming that reality? Like, are there still any stopgaps now that are like hurting hemp fully coming online industrially?
So
for smoking?
industrial hemp, let's classify the two here. The industrial hemp production, cultivation of hemp for industrial purposes versus refined cannabinoid
Sure,
production,
yeah.
whether it be minors or CBD. Industrial hemp will survive in the United States. But the United States is very far behind in building the key linchpin, which is the production and extraction, or I'm sorry, the processing facilities to make it into fibers, to make it into usable textiles that we can develop and replace cotton or replace.
It's a
other
huge
stuff.
infrastructure, though, that has
It's
to
a
be built.
neat, yeah, and so there's a couple different really forward-thinking states that are taking like industrial waste sites and they're planting hemp.
Nice.
And that's perfect for put on your body.
So
You'll be
many-
fine.
yeah,
I can
yeah.
ingest
What
it.
an
Right.
interesting thing.
And
So,
so-
it's like toxic waste land. You like go plant some hemp on it and it
Yeah,
absorbs.
plant it at Fukushima. It takes radiation out of the ground.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
It's just
This is
it's-
the best.
Chernobyl.
It's
It's
amazing.
here to save our world. I'm telling you. This is. It's here to free the people. It's here to reverse this negative paradigm that we've been demonizing plant-based medicines.
Right.
It's here to elevate our consciousness.
Yeah.
Free us from PTSD, remove some inflammation in our body, help us with our neurological diseases. The deprivement of the endocannabinoid system of the human being is the most tragic thing I think the United States governments have done.
Yeah.
God,
yeah. And you think
amen.
and I mean,
Amen.
like, it seems systematic.
It's like ripped from the
Well, think about it. I mean, the United
rest
States
of Mother
is built
Nature,
on
is what I was going to
a
say.
corporate agenda to feed us food that makes us sick, treat those ailments, not cure them, feed us more medicines to treat the symptoms of those medicines, and eventually we rot away and die.
Right.
Unless you're conscious of and make your own choices. And that's what I want to inspire with these shoes. We are here to inspire
Yes.
the people to embrace industrialized hemp. The revolution's coming through style, through comfort,
Yes.
through a lifestyle brand that's going to move into some other categories of niche that are like, accent pieces.
Yes, yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. It makes perfect sense. They're accent pieces, and they're more than that. I mean, they're true pieces of self-expression. It's not just, ooh, I'm loud, I'm flashy, here I am. It's also, that I care. I've made a commitment to, this planet, to making one plant-based decision, right? Because even if you buy them because you think they're fly, because I love them, you're making that decision to
And
buy
we
a
give the
plant-based.
consumer
So-
a choice of 4 charities, from the Amazon to the ocean to the United States, of choices they can donate a portion of each sale to.
Wow.
So they've mail us
Wow.
back the postcard, tell us what you want, or
So real quick, we
Wow.
skipped over it, but what is the Instagram handle? Fly Soul Shoes?
soul like your soul,
Right.
Yeah.
because you got to have a little fly soul to carry it off,
Fly, little play on
So
words.
not SOLE,
Right,
SOUL.
right. SOUL.
Yes.
Fly Soul
Yes.
Shoes on Instagram. Yeah.
Fly
Nice.
Soul Shoes.
So back to the endocannabinoid system and the deficiencies. I'm seeing some studies that are just coming out on migraines, ADHD, things of this
Alzheimer's.
nature. Alzheimer's.
Yes.
They're now pointing to endocannabinoid deficiencies as the premise of these issues. Fun fact. Yeah. Fun fact.
What's going on?
What's happening? So fun
Is that like
fact-
Pee Wee Herman's?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? I love it. Crazy.
So the fun fact
We
is,
couldn't prepare you. We had to haze you.
No,
We
it's
Right.
had
good.
to
It's
haze
good.
you.
I feel welcome.
so the fun fact is, CBD or the cannabinoids themselves, your endocannabinoid system, but the CBD specifically is, I believe, the only thing we found that can actually go in and remove the plaque from the brain that leads to Alzheimer's. So getting back to what a miracle it actually is, this plant is fucking amazing.
Yes.
I mean, it does so much for so many people.
It does.
There's over a 5% variance in its DNA content from plant that is of a wide range. There's like a 0.3% or less variance between you and a chimpanzee. Think about that for a minute. Think about how long it's been around to have
Right.
genetically modified itself.
Yeah.
That's why, you
Oh
know.
my God, your
you-
face just got like.
That's why you like see if you plant the same genetic at sea level versus 1,800 meters, you're gonna have a completely different.
Oh, every
cannabinoid.
microclimate.
The
Yeah,
terpenes
yeah.
will come out differently. You know, you can't take genetics from Canada and plant them in Jamaica.
They think you can though. A lot of people
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
Well, they've ruined
yeah.
Jamaica. The Jamaica used to have
let's
Jamaican
talk
gold.
about that. Let's talk about that. We were all in Jamaica. Yeah, were you in Jamaica?
Peter
Yeah,
was there.
yeah.
Hey,
he's
how
a
did
sneaky
we
little
miss
guy
you?
though. You gotta
Yeah.
know where to
Okay,
find him. You
well,
gotta know where to
we're-
find
got
him.
you
Under
now.
the radar.
Got you now.
Sneaking
So we're
him
not
out.
going to let you go. So let's talk about Jamaica and what's happening there, and all of the new strains cropping up, and Canadian money flowing in, and what the fuck's going on.
Well, in 2015, BioTrack, where I was the CIO, CFO of, designed and implemented the track and trace for the University of West Indies and the University of Technology in Kingston. And we passed and wrote the law with Minister Paulwell to legalize the possession of cannabis on the island up to 2 ounces. We thought they were on the fast track to becoming a very successful country at that point. But Jamaica has a cultural hurdle to get over, by which there's a lot of greed and there's
Very
a lot
well
of
put,
corruption,
right.
and everybody wants it. And the pride of Jamaica has cost them the opportunity
Pride
to
is a
actually
huge hindrance.
really be anything in
lion.
the industry,
The
in my
lion.
opinion. Because the branding of Jamaica was, come to Jamaica, get on our beaches,
It was
drink
self-branded,
our,
yeah,
swim in
yeah.
our ocean,
Right.
smoke
Smoke our
Perfection.
ganja.
Get laid,
Right,
you know?
right,
Yeah,
right.
God.
People be getting naked in Jamaica.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
We went to, when we were there once, we were there with my stepdaughter and walked out onto our balcony, just gotten into the hotel room, big cliff overlooking this thing, and a boat full of just
Tight.
naked old
Fuck
people
yeah.
that cruises up right underneath us, and we're like, well,
We're like,
Welcome to Jamaica.
The people that
People
are doing
be
that are not
freaks,
usually the
baby.
people you want to see naked.
Right,
well, no.
Every time.
It's
Every
like
time.
trying to see swimsuit models. You're like,
I saw something slide down the slide that I.
Oh yeah,
Don't
you don't
even-
want. You
But
can't
Jamaica
back out.
has still regulated their program to medical. So, in other words, if you're a tourist, you have to go into a place and lie to a doctor, say,
Right.
just to get legal
I did.
cannabis.
I
They're
have my
okay.
medical
I was gonna say,
card.
they're okay with it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Of course they are.
Liz
But-
Grow has her medical card in
Right,
Jamaica.
But the industry, over the past decade, a great friend of mine, Dr. Daryl Hudson, who's a world-renowned geneticist, PhD in this industry in Canada, outside of Toronto, has been studying the cannabinoid contents and THC levels of Jamaican cannabis for over a decade.
in Jamaica.
In
They're
Jamaica.
in Jamaica.
They have a wellness retreat in Jamaica as well.
Wow.
That they do psychedelic research.
Wow.
Ayahuasca available.
Well, yeah, we encourage that.
every
We can
podcast,
talk about that.
every podcast.
The Greenhouse Podcast.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get
2021
into that.
Ayahuasca.
for sure.
And so, over the past decade, Jamaican gold had a certain THC, and you could find it, in various areas of the island. People have been introducing CBD and hemp into the island,
Right.
and not understanding. And this is a classic example of Jamaican arrogance that is costing them everything. Is that they've been smuggling it in, planting it, and not pulling the males, and it's been pollinating the entire island. And so there used to be no CBD on Jamaica, no CBD in their strains. Now it's a one-to-one
Cross, yeah.
everywhere.
Wow.
And
Is that where Lamb's Breath went? I mean, is that what basically?
yeah,
I mean, it just diluted.
you're on an island.
Right.
Yeah.
You got it.
You're not-
how are you going to
your
control the
pollen's not
wind?
going.
No,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Unless you're going through your field and pulling your males,
Right.
you're
That's
you're
not
screwing
happening.
everybody.
Right.
So-
But that's
No,
not
man.
their way of. I mean, their way.
No,
of
but
life
that was
is-
it.
Right.
So when we were in Canex in
Bless you.
Jamaica, I don't know
Bless
if you bless you. I don't know if you were at that
Holland.
one geneticist panel, and Dr. Daryl Hudson was on the panel with
I
several
don't
other
believe
people.
I was.
And the Jamaican said,
We
you
were.
gotta-
Oh,
we saw
no,
that.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
shot that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was almost
What was
like very.
It was.
Yeah.
You could feel the
Yeah.
confrontation, the conflict in the
adversarial.
room.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was,
yes.
after all these conferences, that was
Yeah.
the best one I've
Agreed.
ever-
Interaction.
That was the
Yeah.
best
It
was
interaction I've been-
real. It was
because he
real.
came up and said, Jamaica is about combining all the weed from the island
Smashing
and smushing
it,
it together, and that's
Shipping it
that's
out.
what we're going to
Ex-
export.
yeah.
And he doesn't understand that that's not what the industry's about.
No.
It's not about smushing your weed together. It's about refining our art of
Yes.
what we can create to help people. it's not really about getting high. The secret is, it's, you know, everybody likes to smoke and get high. I love it. But it's really about what we can do to change the planet and help humanity become healthy again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
You know,
beautiful.
I mean, come on, people. Let's
This
get
is a
over
gateway
this.
drug.
Yeah.
This is a gateway drug to health and happiness, 100%. Because you can't not think about the other decisions that you make on a daily basis. When your stress level is down and you're in communion with a plant, you start thinking about things that are real.
Well, it literally
You know,
aids
real.
with homeostasis, right? It levels out every system in your
Yes.
body, and that, I
Yes.
mean, is a huge.
But even at a
proponent
societal level,
of-
do you see what we're doing right now?
Oh, it's super
We're sitting
communal.
around- Have you
Yeah.
ever seen
Super
like
communal.
anybody like get high and like get into a fight?
Yeah.
Right,
no.
right.
Or-
it doesn't
or like-
happen. Doesn't happen.
Or you know, yeah,
Right,
Yes.
you
right.
become more. You know, you share.
Yes.
For
you
sure.
express
Yes.
kindness.
Yes.
You know,
You express ideas, you know, and vulnerabilities, you know, in a space that we, you know, oh my God, this is live. This is being recorded. You know, it's hardcore recorded. And we're doing something big with this conversation right now. But yet I don't feel encumbered by, you know, like fears of like looking like an idiot with you guys, you know, because we've shared this, you
But
know, together.
you know, so I encourage people to smoke on the street, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Because I want people to smell it. I want people to be familiar with it. I want their kids to smell it.
So
I know.
California now,
Yeah.
you might already be aware of this, but very recently, there's only 5. If you have a doctor's recommendation, there's only 5 places you can't smoke in the state of California in public.
Wow.
And it's, I mean, you got to look at the Pop Brothers a lot.
School.
That's where, that's
Yeah.
where within
That's
like
where our next
so many,
podcast
the
comes in.
best. The within
What's
so many
their
feet
Friday
of,
called?
Shut
the fuck up Fridays.
Yeah.
I knew the answer.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. But yeah,
They're great.
operating a boat is one of the places in public that you can't smoke within.
Operating a boat. 'Cause you're
Operating a
out
boat.
DUI.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
a vehicle that is operating within so many feet of a school, and there's 2 others. I
Place
forget
of
what they
worship.
are, but
Wow.
Place of
what they were.
worship. The why? What if you use the herb for worship?
Well, I
It is
mean,
a sacrament.
I don't know, I was just throwing it out
Yeah,
there. This is
yeah.
total guess.
Shooting in the dark.
I don't know.
I would certainly use it.
But that's why I
Absolutely,
really have
yeah.
made more of a transition away from the regulated THC market here in California and letting the dust settle. I mean, you know,
There's a lot of
I'm
dust.
gonna give you
There's a
some.
lot of
I'm gonna
dust.
give you some truth right now. The regulated market is surviving because they're participating in both sides, and you know,
80% of the legal market in California is black market products.
Illegal.
yeah,
Yeah.
and no. In the legal dispensary market,
Yep.
that is a chain of custody,
Mm-hmm.
which only legal product, tested product makes
But
it
it's-
into.
we're talking about the state
is
of
a
California.
more robust, even existing in LA, black market dispensary
Right.
that
Yeah.
they are selling their
Yep.
excess products that
Right.
they're producing on their
Yep.
old facilities,
Yep.
labeled in, and they're
Yep.
just putting it in the market. And you know, listen, can't really blame them, to be
Sorry.
honest with you, because
No, it's what
the
we're-
taxation
what we're here
system to
for.
the state of California, you know, I remember I was at, in 2015, the first Department of Taxation hearing on how to design the track and trace system. And at that point, you know, we tried to give the state an idea of, listen, you can't thwart the industry, you have to give taxation at various levels. We had reconstructed the taxation code for Washington because they had learned this lesson already.
And you felt they were on board.
But
at
But
the
well,
time.
you know, this was early. This is 2015. So
Right.
by the time it really got handed down, so many more influencers had come in to try different techniques to really get the state. What they did is really screwed themselves, because
Yeah.
if they were to actually provide the industry, especially in the beginning, a little less of a taxation, or actually significant less taxation, and tax it in a different model associated with production at various life cycle changes of
the
change of
plant, yeah.
custody,
right.
they would have made a lot more money. Instead, they have made it literally or nearly impossible, and especially in LA is a tragic example,
Right.
to make money in the legal market. It's just, you know, why would I buy an eighth of cannabis at $75 when I can go next door, list it on
Right.
Weed Maps, and buy it for $25?
That's 1992
Yeah.
pricing. And
Yeah.
it's
I
2020.
mean, the black
Yeah.
market's killing it right now,
It's
man.
crushing. Yeah.
What
So
is-
No,
yeah,
go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
it's
No,
all
no.
good.
Okay, so walk us through the track and trace a little bit. So for those that don't understand, what's been rolled out, or what is up your sleeve when it comes to that?
Well, in order to provide a closed-loop economic system for an agriculturally tracked product, you need to make sure that there's no illegal or illicit inventory coming in and out of it, right?
Right.
You need to make sure that you're not having money laundering taking place. You need to make sure that you're not delivering this regulated commodity to people that shouldn't get it, like children. And so really what that means is that you need to have, unlike any other agricultural product, a track and trace down to the gram for cannabis. So when Washington went live, 37 companies bid on the RFP for track and trace software program for the governmental regulatory system. BioTrack THC, which is based in Fort Lauderdale, won that bid. And during the implementation of that, we learned a lot about what taxation models should work, or how to not allow monopolization or big corporate interests just to own the whole market. And it was the beginning of the industry. So track and trace is literally quintessentially important for the opening of international trade.
Right.
So one day we will have a federal legal system. One day we will be able to export California branded cannabis, because California branded cannabis is the best in the world.
Until Texas comes.
Tell you that every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Spoken like a Texan. Hey, you just wait till we catch up, California.
But I'm saying this, and it has a premium all around the world.
Yes,
it
does.
Give me a little insight on how it's even traceable down to the gram.
So there's a couple different techniques to do it that are implemented right now in the United States. RFID tagging, radio frequency identification, is implemented by BioTrack's largest competitor and the winner of the state of California's contract, called Metric. And that is a company called Franwell at their core, which really developed a system to track cabbage. It's really inaccurate. I wrote a paper in 2016 of 16 different ways you can sneak pounds out the back door.
Right.
Cabbage wars.
And it's
okay.
they implemented it.
Look
That's
for it
just
in the
a chip
spring.
in
They
the
won
packaging?
when Colorado and Washington went live. BioTrack won Washington, Metric won Colorado, and it's been a learning process for both companies since, and a battle of who's going to get the next state contract. California was a beast like no other because it's the 5th largest economy in the world. 60% of the cannabis in the world is grown here. I mean, it is.
It might be an underestimate.
Yeah, that's conservative. And so, and it's huge. So, trying to regulate an existing market versus something that was coming new is proving to be more cumbersome than a track and trace system. And anyone that exists, in my opinion, really can handle it. But Metric has an RFID tagging system to answer your question, and you just scan your RFID reader. But in Colorado, we saw an example of them just being in a box and scan the box, and you're growing 8 rooms you're not reporting, and that's going to happen with the system.
Right.
So why is cannabis? Why is it a necessity to track to that level?
Because
when
it's a
nothing
Schedule
else on
1 regulated drug.
Right. So if we
It's a
lose
federally
that-
illegal drug.
If we lose that,
It's like-
I mean, if we ditch that,
much
right,
money is
and
being spent
cannabis
because
comes down to
fucked
wait,
up
Schedule
law.
5,
let's first off,
weed
it enables
comes
a
down.
government to tax you.
Okay.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah. So what is your question, Josh? What was your? What
I'm
exactly-
sorry.
Yeah,
So
no.
if weed drops down to Schedule 5 as hemp has, what game changer is that? Do we now get to consume lemon extract the same as cannabis extract because it's no longer Schedule 1? Like, is that their hook in the fish? Is that Schedule 1 classification?
That's a part of the hook. The other side of the hook is
We're in the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's
I
conspiracy
love this.
segment of the podcast.
this is the second one.
Cannabis, what you got?
It's all about money. It really is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all about the dollar.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. It's not a safety
Yeah.
issue. It's not. There's no other play.
That's what they're gonna. Safety plays a part in it.
Right,
If we're gonna
right.
give medicine to people, let's make sure it doesn't make them sick. I mean, that makes sense, right?
God, yes.
I would like to smoke regulated, tested cannabis.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be
when
awesome.
I smoke
Yes.
clean, organic cannabis,
Right.
Yeah.
preferably outdoor.
But for hundreds of years, millions of people have smoked cannabis grown in the hills by hippies that don't wash their hands
Yeah.
without much
Fact.
recourse. You know, like it's been
so
an
deep.
industry, right?
Dirty.
But we start
That's
talking
why it smells so
about
good.
the
That's that
beginning
skunk.
of the industry. When what we were talking about earlier, 2012, 2000, when the first money really came in, and we start looking at this new horizon of cannabis.
Well, pioneers in the industry in Colorado, like Norton Abrales and Los Arias of Green Horizon, and formerly of Netta in Massachusetts, and they founded River Rock in Colorado. In 2009, these guys are really like the heroes of the industry. Norton was recently in National Geographic about his struggle, about how, from a legal standpoint, they'd attack it. Two attorneys that believe so heavily in plant medicine that they took everything they had to really provide a legal evidence and efficacy for an undeniable fact this is a medicine. This makes you better. You are.
What country
better
was
human
this in? This was in
Colorado.
Colorado in the U.S.
And so that's really where I think Colorado was really the launch pin,
They
the
are.
launch point for it.
Side note,
California, I mean,
love
they
Colorado.
made it medical
Fucking love
in
that
'98, but Colorado, by beginning to track it and
Right.
agreeing
Yes.
to do that, came to a level where now we can tax it, and now we can pay the IRS income tax.
Yeah.
And now we can have a federally regulated system, and eventually we'll be able to export our cannabis.
Right,
And the United States
Wow.
will have a THC revolution.
right.
Yeah.
But that has to be trackable at each point of the process, right?
Absolutely.
Raw
Right.
material, extracted
Yes.
material, finished product.
And because
And
if
that's
there's a
the business
recall, you
you're
need to be
in.
able to
Right.
find out where it came
Yeah.
from.
That I guess that's the root of it, right?
Yeah.
There's no
Absolutely.
pot
There's a-
recall.
the
policy
most advanced system that I've
procedure.
come across after all of the track and trace systems that I've looked at, from Switzerland SICPA to what exists in the marketplace, is now a system called Backbone. They're the same guys that built QuickBooks and NetSuite and sold it to Oracle.
Nice.
They've come in with a real ERP that gives you just a life cycle dashboard of where it stands through the entire life cycle. It's really an advanced system. So,
Fascinating.
Backbone.
Interesting.
Wow.
BackboneIQ.com.
Okay.
Can I love
Fascinating.
your passion it's so like it's hard not to just like get fired up being around it, man. like I think you've got such an amazing depth and knowledge for this, and you're fired up about it. I would love to know what is sort of your future, like your ideal future. Like what does it look like for America and this hemp game and this and really the cannabis revolution, baby.
I was working for that law firm until my birthday in August, and I resigned to launch this shoe company. So I'm very focused on this, but I'm moving
Fly
myself.
Soul Shoes.
Fly Soul
They're
Shoes.
so fucking awesome, dude.
Okay, we just wrote you a jingle.
Fly Soul Shoes.
I'll send you a
You gotta
bill.
pay. Yeah, paid.
That'll be 42 cents. We don't take a
But
dime less.
to be quite honest, I don't serve that company best as the CEO or even a C-level executive. I'm best as being on the road and spreading my vibe.
Dude,
and
yeah.
so
Vibe spreader.
the former executive vice president of Nike for the past 13 years, Danny Tway, is coming in as a CEO. And I built a team of all my friends in the cannabis industry. So we're a team of passionate people for it, and we're going to make that happen. But I accepted the role as the Global Expansion Officer for Green Horizon, California. We are building a 1 million square foot cultivation facility in Coachella and launching a brand called Natural States for CBD and hemp products of many, many different categories in 23 countries in the next 24 months. And so I'll be launching the first beauty, CBE, health and wellness, woman-facing line in Harrods in London this upcoming quarter, and an edible line in Japan, and culturing each product by the geography and the
Can I get some of those edibles, or do I got to import them
You know, I
from
got you,
Japan?
bro.
Like, I gotta-
And this
I
woman's
manufacture
line,
'em
This
with a-
Harrods woman's line, you got to test on. You got to test on your girl, Liz Grow.
Listen.
Okay, my name is Liz Grow. So
every
Every single time.
Well, I believe that the woman is really the decision maker.
What?
Women are much better leaders than we are.
We just had this
Like, way
conversation
better.
last week.
You know,
Thank
so
you.
it's like it's so obvious to me, you know. And so the sooner we can get out of this male-dominated society, the better we'll be, in my opinion.
So Hillary for president.
No, I'm not saying that.
It's much bigger than that.
I
It's much
I like
bigger than
Bernie's
that.
chances, but I love Elizabeth
Yeah.
Warren too. She's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So-
much bigger than that. It's definitely
Just as
been a
long as we get the
theme.
orange demon out of there. Right?
Peter loves that guy. Peter
Big
Cannabis on Instagram.
Is the stage still
Is this,
burning?
is this a
Yeah,
mega
we need
jacket?
to bring that.
Oh,
in.
this is the
No,
jacket
yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
tell
in.
us about this jacket.
Let's talk about this jacket.
I got this. I was a swimmer. I was a competitive swimmer. I got this jacket in 6th grade.
Tight.
And
You haven't grown since sixth
no,
grade?
I was this big. The
Wow.
beard too. It was
Wow.
awkward. I walked around. I was like, hey, Jimmy.
Like this kid.
29
No,
and
I got it big.
Yeah.
So I could grow into it.
Yeah.
Intention. You were
Yeah.
that smart as a 6-year-old.
And so this is SA for
I don't know.
what is this? What is this? stand
San
for?
Antonio.
Oh, St. Andrew's School. It's a.
Yeah.
My mother was a flight attendant for 42 years, and she would fly to commute to Chicago, to fly to China, to fly back, commute home, and then work a second job to pay for me to go to this private school. And so my life goal is taking care of her. And this past January, because I was able to accomplish it, I drove every earthly possession across the country, moved her into the building next door.
Hi, Mom.
And she is retired.
Nice.
Yes.
Was that her
Yes,
official
congrats.
retirement?
It's
Was she
yeah.
working up until you snatched her up?
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's
so
gorgeous.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
Peter.
she's a-
Oh.
Congratulations.
We should have had
So
Mom
that's-
on the podcast.
That's why it makes
I know,
me
right?
feel
Call her?
Let's get Mom on the
Yeah,
podcast.
she's next door. We'll be there.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
So
Wow.
tell us about some speaking engagements you have coming
Yeah.
up, or things that are.
So
Shaking and
Green
moving.
Horizon is the entry for the Hilfiger family to enter the industry. And
Nice.
so Tommy is our co-founder, and so his daughter and I are going to be touring certain locations in Europe and Asia and South America and Central America and the United States, really conveying the message of how this plant can help. I'll let her speak about her story, but she's written a book that's a New York Times bestseller called Bite Me, about her battle with Lyme disease
Oh, sweet.
and how
Not sweet, but
some of the
sweet.
proprietary
She's-
formulations were
Yeah.
coming
I'm
out.
laughing, but I'm not laughing.
Sweet. Shitty choice of words, but you know what I mean.
But we've developed a medicine
Yeah.
involving cannabinoids that's
Right.
treating it
Yeah.
successfully. So
Wow.
it's and then
It's
we
a
are doing
miracle
a
plant.
yeah,
to
so
the miracle
Green
plant.
Horizon has a lot
Yeah,
of things
it's
to
fucking
come.
great.
Green Horizon, California.
That's so
Nice.
beautiful. That's really like you're such a Renaissance man. You are. No, you truly are.
Whoa.
I don't know. No, you really are. You're touching so many pieces of this plant in these industries. If you could pick one, if you could just pick one thing, what would it be?
Industrialized hemp.
And what thing within industrialized hemp?
Fashion.
Killing it.
Yes.
Killing it.
Oh, I
You
love
can't
that.
stump this fucker.
Yeah.
Like
That's
he's
beautiful.
got
Oh,
the,
I've
he's
got it.
got the
I'm not trying to
answer.
I've got it.
Hey, I'm not trying to stump. I'm
He's
just
got the answer.
I'm trying
so
to hear the
grateful that I
thump.
can
Right.
think of different questions,
know?
While I can, it just kind of dawned on me, last night when we were prepping for this, it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's my podcast. I can ask whatever I want. Yes. Because I'm so curious, about, people who are truly changing this industry, changing the way we are conscious about hemp and this plant and marijuana and fashion,
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
It's a cooler way to be.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in line with, it's good for the whole and not just yourself.
Preach,
you
Peter,
start making
preach.
better ideas.
Yes.
Life is not about you. It's about altruism. It's about loving the common man and not expecting anything in return. doing it for the love.
Peter's a master hippie.
You know.
Yeah.
Amen. That's
Yeah, I practice plant
Beautiful.
medicine. I
Beautiful.
practice ayahuasca. You know, I get in touch and talk to God as much as I possibly can. I live by God's
Yes.
justice, and hemp is God's justice, man.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's God's
Amen.
justice.
It's another
Amen.
shirt. We got about 12 shirts
Hot
out of Peter
damn.
today.
Let's do it. Let's
Seriously.
print some.
So,
For real.
do you
We
think it is
definitely got
possible
some
to?
social- we got some bites.
Do you think it's possible to like? What does the campaign have to be? How do we keep convincing people to buy hemp?
Yes.
You know,
Wearing
it starts in a couple
looking
different
cool
levels
in it.
there.
I mean, obviously, rocking these motherfuckers.
Taking
but-
off
but,
the
yeah,
leather and
yeah.
putting on the hemp. I hear you, universe. I
You know,
hear
you got to make it cool.
You gotta
You
make it
know,
cool.
you got to make it something you identify with. If somebody looks down and is like, "Damn," and then you say, "Wow, it's made out of hemp," and they're like, because
Have you ever had the reaction to these that
Let's do that.
they're not cool?
Nope,
Not once.
not once.
No.
I've seen the reaction.
I walked
to
around
these
in a
things.
show once that when it told me, I just made it for myself. I found a little town in Mexico that I make these with a family that's a 5th generation cobbler, and this is my very first pair I made, and I was walking around in it,
Dude, these are.
and I just made it for myself.
It's a game changer,
And
right?
I got stopped 27 times in one day.
Where did
And
you
they
get
came,
these?
Where are those shoes from? And I was like, maybe I should do something with this.
What? How long have you had these?
My grandmother died on June 4th, and I was running on the beaches of Tel Aviv, serving the purpose of this law firm that I had no interest in. And I couldn't get home to take care of my mom. I said, you know what? I got to do this. And I said, I'm going to take the shoe that I designed. Let's start a business. June 4th.
Beautiful.
Wow, I've
Wow.
never held another man's shoe for so long and listened to the story. This foot has walked the earth. This shoe has gotten around. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Man, it's
amazing.
I'm so
Your
inspired by
life.
you, man.
You
Thank
know-
you.
Oh,
Thank you
thanks,
for,
man.
yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
I have to tell you, you've totally fulfilled all of my preconceived notions. I'm just with stories and little things that I've seen in social and here and there. And your name is Peter, but I feel like you're kind of a J. Peterman figure. You're this man who, on Seinfeld, we all know J. Peterman. Okay,
Wait, is he
because
the,
Hiking through the
yeah,
hills.
because Josh has also,
the Congo.
described you to us, and yes, you're like this J. Peterman figure who's gone all over the earth, who is just, he's altruistic. He's there for common man. He's there for his fellow man, and he wants to make the world a better place. And so he's bringing back these beautiful shoes, or this root that you put between your teeth. And you feel it, just like you're like the explorer that brings back little gifts for us.
Yes.
I gave up the direction of my life to God when I started practicing ayahuasca, and it's been very ups and downs, but I was fortunate enough to serve the Fortune 500 law firm of Zuber Lawler and be the director of their cannabis client practice. And when you live out of a suitcase for 18 months and travel 25 days a month,
You meet awesome people.
you realize that the things that people value, like cars and possessions and even real estate, really don't matter. It's a fallacy.
Yeah.
Even money's a fallacy, in my opinion. It's something that's been created by society that really doesn't have
It's a huge
anything
truth.
value.
It's just because
what is value?
We agree that there's value is the only reason there is value.
Yes.
You know what the most
Truly.
powerful and valuable currency there is? It's your effect on others. With that, you can change the world. And so money is the placation of our weakness. When you give up the importance of it in life, you can live off a little bit.
Money is the
Deep.
placation of our weakness.
That's another shirt.
That's
That's shirt 13 today.
I really felt that. I really felt that because we're talking about veganism and we're talking about how to live a more plant-based life recently, and we're weak and we have to placate that by.
Oh, it's my mom.
Hey!
Oh, darn it.
Oh, did you
I
lose
missed
her?
it. I
Call
missed
her
it.
back. Call her back.
Call her back.
Yeah, call her
Call
back.
her back.
Call her back. Call her back. Call
This is
her
going
back.
to be
Call her
great.
back.
Oh, I want her to hang over the balcony.
No, she's right on the other side. I can't
She's
see her.
inland, she's
dang it.
inland a little more.
Mom? Oh, this is great.
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. I'm doing a podcast on my balcony right now, and you're on speakerphone. Say hi.
Oh my God.
I'm doing a podcast on my balcony right now, being filmed in video, and you're on speakerphone in front of everybody right now. Say hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the Greenhouse Podcast. How you doing tonight?
Well, how are you?
I'm living my best life. I'm hanging out with your son. He's an angel. He's an angel from heaven.
He's an angel from heaven.
That's my assessment as a Texan. We're talking about the cannabis industry moving to Texas and hoping that it happens sooner rather than later.
Well, you just, it's what you wish for. It'll come true.
Yes, it will.
Oh, we see where Peter gets it
Mom,
from, right?
we love you, Mom. Thank you so much.
I love you so much, Mom. I'll give you a call after this.
Okay, have a good one.
You're
All
so
right,
wonderful.
We'll come and take Tommy for a walk.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I get to walk
Yay!
with my mom.
How great
God,
is
You know,
that?
I feel
Life
like
is
we all
good,
got a
man.
hug from your mom just now.
Yeah.
It felt really good. It felt
Yeah.
really good.
We can try and get her high. Won't work.
Doesn't work? Does it
No, she
work?
doesn't work.
No.
But
Hey, she's got she's living her best life. It sounds like.
Oh yeah,
she's free.
it's great. How we
That's
looking?
the
Oh man, we're great. We're great. I wanted to do one thing before we move on in this phase. Is I would love to know just tell me about the shoe's longevity. Does it break apart? I mean, because all you hear about is hemp is stronger than everything, dude, and fucking, I'm telling you, and I'm part of it. I fucking breathe it. I know it, but I have no practical knowledge of it. So,
Yeah,
is
that's
it
a great
like,
question.
is it as badass as people saying?
Well, it really is, man. It's waterproof, so it repels things. It's antifungal, so it's not going to get stinky. It's antimicrobial, so it's not going to have stuff growing off your feet. I found a
It's gonna
company
make a hemp heel.
that is making the
That
soles
sounds good.
out of hemp seed, and so I'm going to try and make one. Hope somebody doesn't steal
The
this
soul.
idea,
The,
but
wait,
whatever.
Hey, listen,
But
if
when
you
you
would have
can
thought
plant
of
it,
Facebook,
you
would
can
have built
plant it,
Facebook.
and
You know what
a
I'm saying?
hemp plant will come out, and it's biodegradable. But it's
you shitting me?
that's where we're going, bro. That's where we're going.
You kidding me?
That's the future.
That's the future.
That is the future.
The future is now.
Jesus.
Wow.
That is amazing.
I
That's
told
so
you he has all the
amazing.
answers. You don't.
Well, I'm
just
Can you
done with
imagine
these.
Does.
when you wear it out,
No.
you plant
Your
your
shoes.
shoes and a hemp plant.
Get
grows.
the fuck out.
Ah, it's
That's
so
what's
it's just
up.
so cool. That is what's
Okay,
up.
now
That is
how
what's up.
how does one make rubber from said plant?
So they take the hemp seed and they take recycled PVC, the tubing, and they
Oh yeah.
melt it down and ta-da. Now what the addition of the hemp seed is my idea.
I like that.
How long?
You'll figure it
I'm gonna
out.
figure it.
We'll get into details off.
I got a
off
couple.
camera,
I got a
but-
couple
And you're gonna make it look good,
improvements
too.
coming to the shoe. That's gonna be like really cool.
I just want to know when the ladies comes out.
Oh, we have
They
these
have
right
them,
now.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have any.
And
on
we
my
have
feet, so I
slip-ons,
just
and
think so sad.
these are just my shoes. You came to my house and I had just these are my
check,
shoes.
Hey guys,
You know
look at my
what?
shoes.
I guess this is
These are
just
my
like
shoes,
this
you
is
know?
probably like much better than having my own pair. I'm actually like playing with your pairs.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, they're
Thank
great.
you for that. I actually put some on because I was going to wear them, and then I remembered, like, oh, duh, it's a podcast. So, like, my feet.
Hey, you know
Don't
what?
matter.
Before we go though, I really want to thank you guys because what you're doing is educating and spreading and changing the way people receive this message. You have such a
Peter
grave
Cannabis.
responsibility here because you're going to have wide visibility. You're going to have people that didn't intentionally mean to see your podcast. So bring them people of value, bring them education. Please don't accentuate the perpetuation of the culture which demonizes the plant or puts girls in bikinis and thongs and
You
shows
love
the
that. I
plant.
saw that.
No,
on
man.
I wrote an
Instagram.
article
That's not what it's about.
I
Right.
read
This is
an
not
article
about.
on LinkedIn.
I love getting high, and I appreciate all subfacets of it.
Yeah.
But let's raise our
But yachts
consciousness.
and bikinis
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
sports cars and
Let's raise our collective consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
yes.
you,
And we're
thank
close
you.
to it. We're
We
close
are.
to it, and I feel like
We're on the-
we're all of
We're
us at this
working
table
hard to do
are
that.
reaching for that light.
We are, and we're reaching out
You're
through
part
our
of it right
collective
now.
networks.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, thank you.
We're in the light.
We're here
Literally.
with you, having
Literally.
this conversation.
Literally.
You know?
Thank you so much for being on the podcast,
Oh, thank you.
and we look forward to having you back, and we look forward to checking in and keeping up with you. This has been
absolutely.
so informational, and good luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you.
You keep fucking
Yeah.
giving it, man, because we're picking it up.
Picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. We need to do some stuff.
In hell, all things will move to be all things